absolutely right. So I just love as indicated where are the material men and exercise the business of a reorganization, a rearticulation. And a part of I lawyers to have temporarily a part of worker to each element and to go to put to the child. So we're back at the plateau to debate with our guests. You have just heard the elements presented by the Burkinabe authorities in support of this. An umpteenth coup attempt was foiled by Major Ahmed Kita Ahmed Kinda, who has just made a statement on how he should proceed. It should be noted that the man was finally killed because he had tried to flee after being apprehended. I'll start with you, but it's been a long time already, hasn't it? Any announcements from the authorities? Burkinabes, in relation to this umpteenth attempted coup d'état, we have just had the test of its veracity. Yes, proof yes, in the element that is broadcast, we see the individual, who today passed away under mysterious circumstances. And it's precisely the circumstances in which his death occurred that raise questions. Because the video isn't enough to convince you and keep you asking questions. Yes. In certain situations, we can go back on previous declarations. So, if a confession was obtained under duress and quickly, it can be called into question by a court of law, and if the day after the confession, we are told that the individual was killed? As he was about to identify where the arms caches were, he tried to flee. I'd like us to describe the scene, because I can imagine when you get your hands on an individual who's about to commit a coup, but when you want to bring him in to identify the arms caches, you don't let him go free, and you're 100 behind him, I imagine. Nothing to take. Teach the Burkinabe security forces. I imagine he has to be handcuffed at least, and I don't understand under what circumstances an individual like that, who's about to commit a sigil, one of the most serious crimes in a republic, can escape. So I remain perplexed, but these elements, well, we can take them as such, but the circumstances of his death are rather vague. It may suggest an extrajudicial execution, we do not know, but the element is such that it is without debate, at least on the substance of the element, what he said, don't you think? No, I don't hear any criticism, it's there. The circumstance that is because we would have liked that in a judicial system, in the case of a trial, the individual could really recognize that he is the author of his statements. It would be even more powerful now to make that admission and then say the next day that he died in that condition. It seems a little disturbing, a little stronger than I am. Thank you very much. So Sana, I come first to you Adama Renault. We just followed the video for Sana on the statement of Commander Kinda. There is no comment to make, but it's the circumstance of his death that they make him doubt a few things. The video confirms that the Burkinabe authorities have been targeted by destabilization attempts multiple times, providing tangible proof. Yes, in any case I think we should congratulate a passer-by since then. There are many of these opinions who must have felt that these multiple coups d'état, which are often announced by the Burkinabe authorities, were not appropriate, not convincing. In any case, more than one, for a simple and good reason. Yes, Burkinabe is not convincing. For the simple reason that it's an obvious one, because every time we talk about a coup d'état, it means that practically the whole army is against it. We've even cited countries that. So at the origin of a certain number of conspiracies, I think no more than 2 weeks ago, it's been said, etc. And so, for the first time, we're trying to show some evidence. This would mean that somewhere between GIF, which is effective in terms of the close links between Niger and the other countries of the Rs, which had not been cited as one of the countries where a coup d'état could be planned against Burkina Faso. From now on, this means that when you try something like this in an ESA country, the effectiveness of the intelligence, the effectiveness of the relations between the security forces, will rout you. But for all that, it's true. As Sana said earlier, when you take the death in any case, he described, I won't come back to that. From someone, a presumed one. Then those who will tell us so, since we didn't go as far as the project, as far as the trial, not only as far as the very end to really dismantle. So there were caches of trees to really attest to these claims, but the president, in any case, yes. In any case, he said, but I think there are elements that are said in law when there are circumstances reaching, that naturally benefits. At least to the accused. But here we have the accused, who should be going out to find caches of weapons that could attest to what he's saying. Unfortunately, he's dead, and so I think this vagueness will continue to persist. And for all that, I think that when you start with a coup d'état in a country as serious as Burkina, I think the rest of us can at least agree on the question, but with a lot of reservations, for the simple reason that yesterday there were still some elements, which are not in any case in opposition to really assess the veracity of things. So if I understand correctly, to be clearer, you're not totally satisfied with the evidence provided? There are circumstances mitigating? Who could therefore benefit from what he says and who could therefore convince us that there isn't any? I'll come back to you later, you'll explain your doubts, but long before Gabon El Jabo, we finally had a piece of video evidence, not just maybe a test written by someone or that could be attributed to Commander Kinda. There it is himself who makes a video in which he actually shoots what happened, at least that's what the Burkinabe authorities present. Isn't that enough to remove all doubt? In the minds of all those who think that it's often more than that we do well, these stories have already been posted everywhere several times. When we talk about an attempt to destabilize Burkina Faso, it's already been several times. At one point, President Ibrahim Traoré himself had disappeared, and it was claimed that there had been a coup d'état against him and everything. But then he came back and denied it. But then? We've seen a lot of declarations that such and such a day, there have been coups d'état, toys and so on, and so on, and so on, and so on, and so on. These stories come up from time to time, and this time it was an armed leader who was arrested in Niger. So I'm not going to question his question. It's true that anyone can have doubts, because given the circumstances and all, and especially as we haven't seen the arms caches and all that. Well, we're about to get confused, and a lot of people can say that. We saw someone admitting his guilt, which announced his intentions. It's hard to intimidate a soldier. And when you follow the statement, it's not that well, he's reading something, isn't he? He's saying it on his own and then he's got people next to him who are listening too. So for me, and again, what's quite revealing is that in the video he says that there are at least 100. He was expecting 150 mercenaries coming from the Central African Republic. So these people, they have to pass through Niger and now reach Burkina Faso, which means that this was a carefully orchestrated coup. I'm not sure that the Burkinabe are going to take the nasty pleasure of murdering a citizen who has done nothing, you know. Well, I'm not here to describe the circumstances, but I think that the Burkina Faso Attorney General, Laurent Pato, will take it upon himself to shed a lot more light on the circumstances surrounding the death of the Kinda. Because at the moment we can't really say we can't know what happened. We were told that he wanted to flee. He was shot. Now the police, the police and the public prosecutor will be able to carry out these investigations and really know the circumstances of the man's death. But you have to know that there's no smoke without fire. When this kind of thing happens and happens again and again, it means that, really, there's something in the works and there really are people who want to stage a coup d'état. Ibrahim Traoré Le Burkinabé is going through a rather difficult situation and today we have a sacred union around the existing government in order to defeat terrorism. You can't create tension in time, inattention. Today, when you follow Kinda's statement, he mentions one name, Amoeba. That name comes up at every moment. Paul Harry Sandaogo Damiba staged a coup against Christian Kabore and was ousted 2 years ago. The question now is whether Damiba Bon still has a chance. In the army, someone with a past important position can still orchestrate things through contacts. Damba brought in Blaise Compaoré during his time in Burkina Faso and is known to support him. If the hotel coup is successful, they may bring Blaise back to lead the country again. Going out there and carrying on like this person lives until he leaves the land of 16 to them. So for me it's going to take some real clarification. That's how it came about. We're describing constants, but I think the prosecutor is going to do a great job of describing premièrement less circumstances de Kinda and then clarify how things really happened. Show the weapons caches, because weapons caches still exist. We're talking about several machine guns, AK-47s, mortars or whatever. This means that it's not some little thing that's been prepared, it's pretty serious. And it's against Burkina Faso, and I think that Burkinabe need to know the truth, to know where these people are really hiding, who or where they are hiding, where they have hidden these weapons to come and destabilize their country. But it's also time to to involve people in the fight against terrorism. Because I have the impression that some people still have gluttonous appetites, where they only think of themselves. But right now, I don't think Burkina Faso needs that. What it needs is a sacred union, with everyone pulling together in the fight against terrorism, so that it can succeed. But if, because certain things don't work, because we can't be happy every time, we've had people making movements in the north and elsewhere because they're not happy with the way the fight against terrorism is being managed, that's perfectly normal, but make your contribution so that the struggle can succeed. Destabilizing or ousting the Brahim Traore regime is not going to solve anything. I think the best thing we can do is to support and assist him even more so that he can succeed in his mission. Thank you very much, Gabon. Zhao.
Yes, families, you heard it all, the debate back and front. What happened, what is not happening. Those people, either all of them or one, the leader has been deleted, and the argument is they didn't find the materials. I'm sure they find them. I believe what the authorities will say when they come out with it. I'm sharing this video because I don't know what is going on in your mind. What are you thinking? Do you think that video is wrong? Is it right for them to bring that video out? Because there was a video I also shared, and that was a phone call recorded that somebody shared on YouTube, and I also share it. And when you listen to it, I intentionally, after translating it, I kept it for a future reference. That almost everything that this man has said was on the tape. So I believe him 100%. I will not say may his soul rest in peace. He's gone. He should have wait and face the consequences. But he tried to escape and he lost his life. That's it, he's done. I'm sure the message and the materials he gave to authorities, they will get the rest of the people. There are videos circulating. They arrest some of them already. We wait and see. I end my case here. Credit to World TV for sharing this interview with us. God bless you all. Leave your comment. What do you think? What you don't think about this? But I've taken a lot from this video, more than the translation I did myself. That's why, most importantly, I decided to share this. Thank you. God bless you. I'll be back. My returning, my new, those who are passing by. If this is your first time, my name is Mamri Ariat on Anything Africa. So yes, you are welcome. Very welcome. Like the video, share it if possible. I'll be back with another great news from Burkina Faso, Niger as well. See you soon. Bye bye.